Good morning. Thank you, Jesus, for another day. We're back with another video. Let's get into it. First order of business today is to organize those doors and those doors. They're for one order. You need to organize them by size and door number. And then I can start cutting them down to their final height and width. And once that is completed, then I can take them over there. We can start routering, making sure everything's puttied perfectly, sand, double check the measurements, and bore. So there's quite a bit that needs to get done in a short amount of time so they can start getting sprayed and hopefully finished today so they can go on tomorrow. There's 16 doors, so I need to get to cutting these down right now. In order to cut these down, I've already cut the height down. We take 1/8 of an inch off the top, we take 1/8 of an inch off the bottom, and that gets us 2.5 up top and on the bottom. And then I need to do the same thing on the right or the left-hand side and the right-hand side. So that way everything, all of our rails and stiles on this door are 2.5 inches wide, and everything works out perfectly there. So, just have to do a little bit of math here. I took the door width and then added 1/8 for my first cut, and then I'll take it down to the final size for my last cut. Right over here, find all the master list right here. Just need to. I like using the tape measure because then I can make sure I'm very accurate. You could use the gauge on the saw stop too, but I just like using the tape measure. That way I know we're perfect. Now, turn it on, slide it through. Just like that. Same thing to the other door. Since I now know where I was based on the tape measure, now I'll come through, use the gauge here. And I can trust it because I have it set up. I just have to count it down. See how that all turned out. Yep. So, 33 and 7. Yep. 13 and 11. Yep. Yeah. Looking good. Do that to this next door here. Get those out of my way. 13 and 11. 33 and 7. Those doors are completed. Now I just have to do that to pile right here, right here, right here, and right here. They're all different heights, so that's how I separate the pile. I separate them by height, so that way you cut your height down first, then you come to your side, because how the end grain sometimes likes to blow out, you want to make sure that's cleaned up. Wherever my pencil is, I'll mark these doors off, and then these doors can start being routed while I take care of those doors. Time to sand. They've been double checked. You ready for this?
Can't wait.
Good man. We're talking about that new Drake album. It's going to be amazing. The GOAT.
It's gonna be mid, like always.
It's never mid. That is.
Elevator music.
Brother, you like the Steelers. They're mid. They are actually mid. 9 and 8.
No. Number 21 tonight.
Mid. We're going to get these sanded out. And once that is completed, we can start boring. Just want to make sure these are perfect before they go to the other facility. So we're just going to clean them up a bit. Some 150 grit sandpaper, make sure they're perfect. And then we'll bore them with our Bloom compact hinges. They're all 1/2 inch overlay, so 1/2 inch hinges on this job. As we have to match the doors below it. This is for the job that I showed yesterday where Brandon was installing all of the trim. Alright, well, I'm going to keep sanding. Jacob's going to keep sanding over there. Once that's done, we'll start boring. Alright, so now we're over here boring doors. We have our compact hinges, 1/2 inch bloom. Let the bloom machine bore the hole. We can put the hinge right up here like this, into the clip, push it down, seat it into place. Then we just unscrew them. They can be finished, the doors can be, and then we can screw them back in on site. Slick process, and we don't have to hammer the hinges in, and they can be done here in the warehouse, sprayed in the other warehouse, and then the hinges can be screwed in based on our sheet telling us which hinges go where, and then the doors can be hung. So we're going to keep installing the rest of the hinges here and then get those doors sent out to the other facility. We got those doors sent out to the other facility. Jacob went and is going to hang 2 glass doors that we did for a client. Brandon routed out the panel of these 2 existing doors. We resprayed them. We had our glass installer install glass, and Jacob's gonna go hang those, and then he'll be back. And I think I'm gonna have him sand down our Shaker 45 doors for a refacing job that I measured for on Monday. I was thinking about this last night while I was lying in bed. And I need to pack out this gap here for this cabinet and this cabinet right here, because these are a Peninsula. We're gonna anchor them down into the floor joists, but they need to be packed out so that way this panel can run nice and square. So I need to do that. And then a lot of times we'll install this on site, but I'm just going to do it now so Brandon doesn't have to while he's installing the cabinets. This is a 2-can trash unit. Each can is 50 quarts. They're big, soft close, and it fits right into this opening of this cabinet right here. So I'm going to open this up, install the trash unit, and then I'll start packing this out. The other thing I have to do, which I don't have one of the cabinets here, which is fine. I have the other one though. When we make the shelves, I can come over here and show you the shelf. We edge band the front of the shelf. But on that cabinet right over there and the other cabinet that has 2 openings on the front and the back, we need to edge band the other side of the shelf. And I was thinking about that last night. So I'm going to do that to 3 shelves. I believe they are these 2 shelves. And then I think this one right here. Do that. Pack these cabinets out so that way when we install them, everything goes perfect, and get this trash unit in. Opening up this trash unit right here. I've installed these, I don't know, 100 times it seems like. These are the trash cans. There's 2 of them, 50 quarts each. It's like your standard size trash unit that you would have in your kitchen. They do make a smaller variant that has a drawer box above it, but most of the time clients opt for this. I think this is better. I don't like the drawer box above the trash. Something about that just weirds me out. And the 35 quart trash cans they're really small, where the 50 quarts are nice and big. So a lot of times we'll end up doing those. I'm just gonna unbox all of my pieces right here. This is a trash unit by Rev-A-Shelf. That's where we get a lot of our like spice shelves or trash units, mixer pull-out stands. You can get, they make a million products. There's a blind corner like tray that they make. We always get the soft close variants of everything for our clients that match our soft close drawer boxes and our soft close doors. So I'm gonna finish getting this unboxed and start installing it. All of my pieces out of the box, my Milwaukee vest right here, M12. They come with really nice instructions on how to put this together. I've put this together enough now that I basically know how to do it by heart and memory. That being said, watch now, I'll make a mistake. But this is super easy. First thing I need to do here is take these pieces. These are the soft close slides for this trash unit here. And then I need to put this, and it clips into the back. Then it has a hole in the front for a screw. Need to find the screw. There's 2 of them right here. I like Rev-A-Shelf. They have really nice videos online that make it super easy to install. They have really good instructions too on how to do it. And they package everything up separately. So hard to get confused. Seems a little bit daunting. Like this one was never hard to do. Mounting the door on these used to be the hardest part, but now we mount it just like a drawer front with double-sided tape, and it works out really easy. There's a few adjustments for it too. When we did the mixer stand, that seemed way more daunting to me first time. But again, there's a video I watched and made it super simple. Take these 4 screws, screw those in there into these 4 holes. Another hole up here. There we go. And every time we do a trash unit, whether it's this one or the smaller version, the only thing I don't like is it tells me that it can fit into a 14 3/4 inch wide opening. It cannot. I don't know why it says that. It definitely cannot. The trash can sides rub if you do that. So I leave 15.5. 15 would work. It's super tight, but I leave 15.5. What I do is I make my cabinet 18, and then instead of 1.5 wide face frames, I do 1.25. That gives me 15.5. That way I don't have to make it 18.5. It just saves room. Like, this is already a small drawer stack, and I hate to make it any smaller, and 1/2 inch can add up over 4 drawer boxes. So I'm making this 18 instead of 18.5, and then making these 1.25 instead of 1.5. It just makes this drawer stack 1/2 inch wider, which makes each drawer box a 1/2 inch wider, which I think helps the client. So I'm always trying to think of that. Not perfect about that by any means, but I'm always trying to think ahead. I've done it enough now where I can think about those type of things, and it comes natural. Again, when we're doing new things, it's hard to think about all of that because you just don't know. It's where you just have to learn. Putting these back pieces in. Sometimes these are a pain to snap in. There we go. They'll help square off the back of this unit here. One of those technically can go in the middle here. I don't like it though, because it's harder to get these trash cans out if they're separated like that. Every time I install them, I don't. I put them just like that in the back there. I don't know. You can put it across the middle if you really want to. I just don't love it. Next step, I'm going to get my spacers taken apart here. Then I like to put this unfinished side into the washer, so you'll never see it. You never see these spacers really anyway, but I don't know. I think it helps me sleep at night knowing that I did that. And then I just get those semi-screwed in, not all the way yet. This can be a little hard to get in. You have to go perfectly straight, or they won't work. Okay, I'm going to screw that last one in, and then I'm going to get this mounted into the trash unit and start figuring out how far to the left and right I want it. What I did here, once I put this in, is I measured this gap and I measured this gap, and I just want them even. So I have 5/8 right there, and I have 5/8 right there. My brackets right here that hold the door are perfectly flush, which is what I want. And then back here I have like 1 and 11 probably, and I have 1 and 11 back there. So now I know my unit is square. Inside of this cabinet, well, I can't screw that in. There we go. Now what will happen is this can pull out. There's 4 more screws I need to put in, but then it'll soft close back in there. So just need to finish putting these screws in. This bit is not what I don't like these extension bits. You have to put, I don't know. the leverage is not great. Now I need to attempt to get these two screws out of here. There we go, screw them back into here. If we're being honest, 4 screws would be plenty, but they send 8, so we use 8. I can't do this. This is terrible. This might be one of the hardest things I've ever done. Oh my goodness. The struggle is real. I could just pre-drill this and it wouldn't be an issue, but I'm not, because I want it to bite and lock in perfectly. Okay, that was fun. Double-sided tape they send. I don't use it. We have our own double-sided tape that we'll put on here that is way better. It's more sticky. Door's super heavy, so I need good double-sided tape to stick the door on there so we can pull it out and then screw from the back side. They also send these screws that are decent to lock the door in. They're just really small. I don't like the Phillips head that they send. We have our own screws that we order that are much better. They're 5/8 of an inch long instead of 1/2 inch or maybe 3/8. We'll put a bunch in there. The door is 3/4 inch thick, full solid red oak. Sides and middle panel, that's plywood red oak, but it's a heavy door. I want to make sure that it locks in there, so I don't use those. They would still work, but I want all the screws in the kitchen to match. I want all the double-sided tape, even though you'll never see it, to match in the kitchen. I want everything to match and be cohesive. So next step here is what I'm going to do is I want these brackets perfectly flush. This is where they have some adjustment. You can lift them up and down here on the sides and left and right a little bit. So that way. And sometimes when the door goes on, you have to adjust these more, but they're adjusted now for Brandon when he goes to install, or Jacob when he goes to install. Getting this trash out of here, how they lock in, is painfully tough sometimes too. Then 1 trash can in there, another trash can in here, boom. Then once the door goes on, obviously you'll be able to pull the handle from up here, but I pull out like this, full extension, 2 trash cans, soft close back in there. That's done. That's amazing. Fits in there really well. This is what I'm talking about with I left a 3/4 of an inch extra, and we have roughly a 1/2 inch of space. So it'd just be tight. It'd be a 1/2 inch on each. So it'd be tight at 14 3/4. It would work, but it can scrape, and I don't like that. So this is the way we build it. Now my next step is I need to fix those 3 shelves by adding more edge banding, because doors open on 2 sides, and then pack these cabinets up. Been edge banding the other side of these shelves because this cabinet is the upper that has doors that open up on both sides. I was thinking about that last night, so I may have both sides edge banded. And then this cabinet has the door that opens up right here. It's the lower, that really custom one we made, and the door that opens up right here. So that side needs edge banded as well. And then Jacob just got back. The client loved it. The client loved it, he said. It's where he went and installed those glass doors. They were happy we were able to just use their existing doors. We were a little worried about that, but it actually worked out well. So, I'm going to attempt to edge band this super long shelf right here. All we do is we use our 15/16 wide edge banding. I'm not sending these through our edge bander because there's only 3. It's just, I don't have to start it up. I don't have to heat it up. I can just heat this iron up, and it'll do the same effect essentially. It's a little bit quicker this way. Just making sure that's contacted on every surface. What I'll do is now, since it is glued in, find my scissors, cut my sides. I'll go back through and glue it a little bit more. Then I'll trim it, sand it, be done. The sanding that I do just acts like the buffing that the edge bander would do. So That'll work out slick. This is how we used to do it for all the shelves before the edge bander. Isn't that right, Jakey?
Oh yeah, old-fashioned.
Yeah, old fashioned. That's what we used to make Jacob do all day, right? They turn out good though, wouldn't they? Hand built. Your hand? Jacob built. That's what we call it. Jacob built. Okay. So this one should be good to go. There's no space in between there, so that's great. Pull this iron down so we don't start a fire or anything dumb. Then take this trimming device, a little bit of sandpaper. I like the cabinet or the shelf to set for a few minutes so the glue can cool before I go to edge band, otherwise it'll stick to this cutting blade here. That's never good. All we do here, trim it just like that, make sure it's flush. Right here at the front it's not. And then I will simply do that to the other side. Just lightly sand it, make sure it's perfect. Just like this. Make sure we get those little burrs off of there from the glue. Which is essentially what the edge bander does when it buffs it. And then, once the other side is completed, we'll clear coat them. Shelves are now edge banded. Brandon came back, grabbed a few more cabinets. Now I have the back of these cabinets packed out, but I need to put a pack out piece on these cabinets right here. The edge or the side of this cabinet, side right here, this side right here, this side right here, and this side right here. So that way, because it's for a Peninsula, we can screw, lock everything together, screw it down into the floor joist so this can never move, and that way it's squared up for the panels that we have to put across the back. So I'm going to start measuring up some material, and then Jacob will probably cut it, and we'll pin nail it on. And then once that's completed, I think we're going to start sanding down some more custom Shaker 45 doors for a job that is next week. That is a refacing job. Brand new doors, brand new drawer fronts, existing drawer boxes. So we'll do that, we'll do this, and then we'll do that. Every side of this Peninsula is now packed out. So that way everything's flush with the face frame so we can screw it all together from the inside. Normally I would do this here. This cabinet is a different height because of the flooring. So we really can't put this together here on site. Isn't that right, Jacob?
That is correct. Way too heavy.
Jacob's happy about it. He doesn't want to do it right now anyway. So what are we going to do instead?
Install it on site?
No, we're going to go sand some doors.
No, that's the worst. Takes too much time.
He's happy about that. Let's go install some doors. Or not install doors, sand some doors. And then I can start cutting them down, router, do that whole process again. Jacob's now sanding down these doors. Shaker 45, easy to clean. It's our most popular door style, looks really nice, super strong. We're taking them down from 13/16 thick to 3/4 of an inch thick. Once they're all sanded, we need to cut out the slab drawer fronts, cut these doors down to size, double check the measurements, palm sand, bore, router, a whole bunch of things. So we're gonna get these sanded down, and then I'll start cutting these doors down. We have the last bit of those cabinets all loaded in here. Jacob's gonna go take these to where Brandon and Carl are installing. Carl may come back and fire up the CNC. Not sure yet, but we'll see. Hopefully they're able to get the rest of these installed today. Not sure yet about that either. Some electrical and plumbing are in the way, but that's okay. We'll just see. Worst case, we can finish tomorrow. We had a different distributor come through that may start giving us hardwoods. Not sure. The company we use right now is amazing, so we'll see about that. But like I was saying, Jacob went to go drop off those cabinets and maybe help install. I'm going to keep cutting these doors down that we're making for this refacing job. I have a few of them cut. We just cut out all the slab drawer fronts. Let's take a look at all these. So Shaker 45 doors, those are cut down. Middle of cutting those down. I need to cut the rest of these down. There's 3 more for this order that we need to cut pieces out, but we need to change out the shaper bits. And these are all the slab drawer fronts that need sanded. So through the vertical belt sander, we just got all these squared up and cut through the saw stop. So I'm just gonna keep cutting all these doors down. It's been a busy day. Jacob and I are just finished sanding these doors that I just cut down for the refacing job that is next week. If you liked the video, please drop a like, a comment, subscribe, check out our website. Tomorrow's gonna be another busy day. Brandon and Carl almost done installing that kitchen. We have a bunch more stuff to do tomorrow, so stay tuned and adios.